Zank, yeah.
I loved me and Brad. One of my first Japanese tour, me and Brad, I was on it with Brad, and he showed me the ropes. We ran into Chaka Khan and in Tokyo, checking into the Kyo Plaza, and I said, "Fuck, that's Chaka Khan." Brad says, "You sure?" I'm thinking, "Dude, we're in Tokyo, man. There's only one Chaka Khan." And so I walked over to, I just was a huge fan, and she was doing like a small, like torch songs, and it was downstairs, it was somewhere in Tokyo, and we were both on early. We were at that small building in Tokyo, whatever the fucking Krokian, whatever the fuck it is called, hall.
I was going to say, Waltman's not going to call you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll get fucking. But Brad had a match with Hase, and they fucking tore it down, man. Brad was he was so over in Japan. Because, man, that motherfucker could work. And that was that same. So, we go down, man, and we're like sitting it's the fucking club's about the size of this fucking condo living room. And Chaka's there, and there's somebody playing a fucking piano, and I think there's a guy on a bass, and I don't think it was a sax. I want to think it was a clarinet. And she's like this far from us singing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is sweet. We're drinking those Asahi Super Dries, big fucking 23.4 ounce bottles, whatever they are. So, trip goes on, and because you ain't making no money, man, so you find out where the yakitori places are. Yakitori is just chicken breast on a stick with teriyaki sauce. So you go to those yakitori houses, fill up on rice and get enough protein, but you have a couple beers. So there's some Japanese girls sitting next to us. I get up, man, and go take a piss. I come back and my beer's foaming. I'm like, what the fuck? So I fucking, drink it. I look, I fucking see on the bottom, man, there's a fucking pill.
You got zooted.
I said, Brad, fuck, dude. He goes, I wasn't paying attention, man. So fucking, I get up, I go to the bathroom again. I come back, my fucking beer's doing the same fucking thing. I said, dude. He goes, I've never taken fucking a pill in my life. Okay? Up until this point, I've never recreationally taken a pill before. And anybody that knows the fucking the wrestling history of the fucking Armstrongs knows that the Bullet was fucking, he was the man. He'd fucking tell you, man, if fucking like a 2 milligram Xanax, he says, you gotta watch them sticks, man. They'll creep up on you. And I think that the Armstrongs are credited for bringing chlorcipetal somas into the wrestling business,
into the industry,
yeah. And so I said, I looked at Brad, and he just fucking smiles. I said, dude, are you putting these? He says, yeah.
Of course he
is. I said, dude, just give them to me. Like, hand them to me. I'll eat fucking pills. I'm cracked. I've been in Japan for 3 weeks, and it's just like, I just don't want you fucking up the taste of my beers. And that's when it started, man. I started taking fucking gimmicks on that fucking trip, and man, I can't say that I have not continued my love for the calorie-free prescription drugs.
Wow. I never heard that one. That's a good one.
I take a Xanax every night before I go to bed. And I talked to my doctor, is a fucking addiction specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you've been taking Xanax for 30-something years. He goes, at this point, at 65 years old, he said, it's harder to come off of fucking benzos than it is heroin. And he said, you don't abuse them. I think it's more that the fact I put it underneath my tongue and let it melt every night, because it's like, I have I've noticed lately I have panic attacks, and I used to have them a lot, to the point where I'd be driving, all of a sudden I'd be on the end of the hood of my car, like just, I mean, debilitating anxiety attacks. And I just lately, in the last 2 or 3 years, started having them again. So now I keep a Xanax in my car in a pill vial. Because the last thing I want is to get pulled over and have a 2 milligram Xanax and not have it in a prescription bottle.
Right. In the
Because
bottle.
that's where your mind is at 64. Like the last thing I'm doing is getting cuffed and explaining shit to anybody. I go up and down the beach road. I set my cruise at 37. It's 35. I'm not looking to get fucked with. I just want to go to the gym and go home. And now that I don't drink, it just takes one more equation out of it. We sit down at Hyde Park, and I'd have to go, I don't know, man. Like, I don't feel like I got a buzz, but who knows what the fuck I'd blow.
What you blow, exactly.
Because, nowadays in Florida, it's like, 0.01. It's like nothing. So I say, it just takes that out of the equation.
TM. Hey, Kev. What was the overall opinion of and treatment towards career jobbers like Steve Lombardi, Barry Horowitz, and Barry O? From one vet to another, Semper Fi, brother. Big thanks to you and Sean for being my weekly escape.
All those guys could work. All those guys busted their asses. I mean, they were the boys.
They dressed among you.
They were. I was friends with all of them.
Could drink with you guys in the bars.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're one of the boys.
Headingite. Hey, Kev, got any good Foley stories from back in the day? I always like hearing about how he would squeeze every nickel he could and knew where every deal was.
I traveled a lot with Mick. The thing about Mick is, it's like there are so few of the boys that are absolutely brilliant fucking conversationalist that knows something and follow. Like, he loves sports. Like, we were talking the other day. I was going to go to Cincinnati, and I was going to do a signing, and they shipped it to Tamara's thing, and I was just like, I had a bad feeling that leaving her at home, and just I knew mind wise, her knowing I was going to get home Sunday night at midnight. I would have got home at 1:00, and we're turning around. And not that I got anything done that weekend as far as getting supplies or anything else, but it was at least the effort that she saw that I was on the team. But Mick sends me a text, and he had the wanted Cactus Jack shirt.
Yeah, sure.
Well, he had Caitlin, the baller from Iowa, female, the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history. And he had her face, and he said, would you wear it? He said, what size? I said, 2X would fit me. And we were going to get together and take this shot, then put it out on social media that we were fans. So only Mick, and Mick, like me, has been following this girl since her sophomore year. Like, but then again, I know half the roster on most of the WNBA teams, because when I'm watching Ice Cube's 3-on-3. I'm watching, if it's ball, I'm watching.
You're watching it.
I'm watching it.
In Todd is God, on sale at your local bookseller, Todd tells a story when Cactus worked in ECW, and he had his parents come down for one of the shows, and they stayed at the Travel Lodge, the Den of Iniquity that ECW would take over after the shows. And so he knocks on Todd's door early in the morning, and he's like, hey, Todd, my parents are going to come out of their room soon, go down for the buffet, and Johnny Grunge is laying in front of their door in his underwear. Can you do something about that? Apparently, Johnny Grunge had, in the middle of the night, gotten up in his underwear to use the bathroom. He had the bathroom door and the hotel door 50-50 shot, and wouldn't you know it, he chose the door to his room and passed out into the hallway. And the maids were standing over him, kind of tapping him with the feather dusters. And Cactus didn't want his parents to have to see that on their way to breakfast. Good guy that he is. TM. What was the overall opinion of and treatment towards career jobbers like Steve Lombardi, Barry Horowitz, and Barry O? From one vet to another, Semper Fi, brother. Big thanks to you and Sean for being my weekly escape.
All those guys could work. All those guys busted their asses. I mean, they were the boys.
They dressed among you. They
Yeah, they were. I was friends with all of them.
could drink with you guys in the bars.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. You're one of the boys.